A few weeks ago, I was at my sister's wedding. She got married in a ski lodge near the Gulf of Alaska, southeast of Anchorage. It was a pretty small community around a lake called Perch Pond. I doubt anyone has ever heard of it. I would highly recommend it as a wedding spot if you ever wanted a surefire way to greatly inconvenience over 50 people. Still, I can't complain about the lodge itself or the nearby area. I got my own log cabin, and it was freshly stocked with firewood. Hell, even the beds were made with fresh sheets. After a long day of drinking, dancing, ceremony, and camera flashes, I found myself sitting outside my cabin with a cigarette in hand. Down by the lake, I could still hear some of the other guests dancing like idiots to 90 seconds pop songs. Two of my cousins kept dancing in a circle out on a rickety old jetty. Still, it made me smile. If I ever get married, I'd want that too. People dancing and singing long into the night. Not me though. I don't like to dance. I must have nodded off, as the music had stopped when I woke up. It was still dark out. I was stiff and cold, so I went inside to light a fire in the stove. Sure, setting fire to anything when you're inebriated is a bad idea, but they'd prepared it and made it easy for me. I got the sense that this area was no stranger to drunken city-folk. As the firewood in the stove lit up, I noticed a strange puddle by the window. Melted snow. No, blood. I didn't get a chance to think about it before a wet hand covered my eyes. Not my mouth, just my eyes. Quiet, little wheat. A bright voice whispered, "I want to talk." It was hard to tell who this person was. It was a bright and feminine voice, but there was a depth to it, a dryness. I was so shocked that I didn't know what to do. Like a deer in headlights, the wet hand terrified me, but there was also a pressure on my neck. She might be able to kill me with the twist of an arm. I could feel something wet and muscular against my throat. My body was shocked into submission. "I saw you," she said. "I saw you looking." I didn't know what to say, so I just held my breath. Her voice pierced my head, cutting through the sound of my panicking heartbeat. "Why didn't you join them?" she asked. I don't like dancing," I whispered back. "No," she complained. "You must sing, dance, drink, and make merry. You are alive. You must." "Oh, okay. You don't understand." There was a scuffling noise, like something large unfurling and spilling onto the floor. The grasp on my neck grew stronger, and I was getting a strange pounding in my throat. I was just an inch of pressure away from struggling for air. So many wish for your place. So many wish to dance and drink. You are wasting your opportunity. I'm sorry. So many mothers praying to hold their daughters one more time. So many fathers wanting to tell their sons of their care. So many lonely hearts longing to dance and love. Don't you see? See what? The voice crept closer. The mouth speaking sounded dry, like leather. Nothing comes back, no matter how much you pray. No matter how much you love, nothing, once gone, comes back. Something large swung around my stomach and underneath my legs, like a long boneless arm. I couldn't see anything past the wet hand covering my eyes. I was forcefully sat down on the hardwood floor, and I could hear the intruder moving all around me. I heard plates rattle on the stove, and at the same time there was wet skin rubbing against a glass window in the back of the room. It was at least 10 feet of space between those two spots. So either there were several intruders, or she was massive. You won't know when your time comes, or understand what happens once you cross over, she continued. But you can't come back. You can't dance, drink, and make merry. Use your time well. It is a gift rarely given. I am happy, I said. Please, just don't hurt me. Hurt you? She seemed surprised. Little wheat, I'm asking you to count your blessings. The slithering noise grew stronger, skin against hardwood floor, dragging itself along. I could feel the arms and the weight around me shift, but the wet hand was still covering my face. You are a seed, planted in the dark soil of the earth blood. You are growing, your stalk waving in the ethereal wind of the beyond. But make no mistake. Make no mistake. She inhaled for 8 seconds straight. There was a slight wheezing sound, like something was blocking her lungs. There weren't multiple intruders, just this one, enormous one. I had trouble wrapping my mind around it. I could barely hear my own shallow breaths. The body will be threshed, and the grain of the soul will be harvested. Yours and all others, your beings, your memories, your loves, to be consumed and repurposed. Everything you've known, an infinitesimal kernel to be forgotten. What are you saying? I'm saying to enjoy the sun and the summer rains. Little wheat, to enjoy the warmth, for what comes after is not for you. Are you going to kill me? The question caught her off guard. The limb that slithered around my stomach tightened. Do you imagine me unfair? Little wheat, why you're talking about death? About killing? You're threatening me. I'm singing a song to a house plant, telling a story to an attentive cat. little wheat. I'm just a farmer's hand passing through your golden field. You're not ripe yet, but I cherish you nonetheless. The voice crept closer. I could feel the warmth of their words against my cheek. I love you, little wheat. A light kiss on the side of my mouth. Edges of cold lips big enough to cover my face. So careful. Then let me go. Yes, of course, she whispered. You must ripen. Are you going away? Until the harvest. Please, just, what does it mean? I don't understand. You are exactly what you were born to be. Little wheat, I will care for you. I don't understand. As I raised my voice, the limbs tightened across my neck and chest, and all of a sudden, the hand in front of my eyes disappeared and the world exploded with colors. I could barely see. My eyes were blurry and red from being held shut. I was held at least 2 feet off the ground, hanging in midair. My legs flailed helplessly. I didn't see any details, but I saw enough. A pile of red, black, and gore, with pieces of white bone sticking out like charred butterfly wings. Numerous skulls merged. I could see the silhouette of their empty eye sockets like holes of a honeycomb. Organs and chunks of dozens of people melted into a being not of this world. Dozens of pairs of lips sewn into a grotesque grin. Mismatched and horrifying, I couldn't stop gasping. As if my body couldn't contain enough air for the scream this terror demanded. I'll come for you. She smiled. Little wheat, I was thrown out of the cabin. Shoulder first, I burst through the front door, my body exploding with pain. I broke my arm and sprained my neck. The door was knocked off its hinges. I rolled around in the snow and barely had the time to realize what was even up or down before I caught a glimpse of the creature. Still inside the cabin, dozens of blurry skulls met my gaze as the cabin burst into flames. The other guests came to my rescue. For the first hour, I couldn't do anything but to scream. Later, I rambled about what happened, but they all thought it was just me having some sort of drunken mental breakdown. They thought I'd fallen asleep while making a fire by the stove. No one listened to my words. No one tried to understand me. In fact, they were so distracted by me that no one would know that the jetty down by Perch Pond had collapsed, and that 2 people were drowning in the freezing water. No one would know until the next day. My 2 cousins, a brother and sister, 7 and 8 years younger than me. That entire weekend ruined my life. Every time I try to enjoy something, I'm second-guessing myself. Am I doing it because I genuinely want to, or because I feel obliged to distract myself with happiness? I have trouble losing myself in the moment. Alcohol helps. I don't know what I met that night, or what it really wanted. I feel like it gave me a gift of some sort, but I can't say what. I don't know where I would be if that night hadn't happened. Maybe it, in some strange way, saved my life. Maybe I really would have set that cabin on fire and fallen asleep if I'd stayed in there. After all, I wasn't ripe yet. It said so. The only thing I have to show that this creature was ever there is the blood across my face and stomach. Where it had held me, I was covered in blood. That's what made the hand that covered my eyes so wet. The doctor thought it was mine, from the broken arm, but they never tested it despite my demands. I know it was real. Those thoughts aren't mine. I don't know how to get past the encounter at Perch Pond. How can I dance, drink, and make merry? I am just the little wheat.